I have a feeling that it will continue to live on for some reason, and I'm never quite sure why. The Some of the things that have come up about it that were not things that we knew at the time. For instance, in 1970, I think it was, yes, May 1970, Variety, the New York Variety, had a poll which they ran, and it was to include all television shows of any length, of any type, from comedies to musicals to dramas to everything, that had been on between 1950 and 1970, so that they would have 20 years of what they called a Hall of Fame for the first 20 years of television. And when the chips were down and all the votes were in, they canvassed every television writer, not a script writer, but newspaper or magazine writer in the country, either critics or just people who did special pieces. And Playhouse 91, number one. Well, we thought that was pretty exciting because in that list of the first 10 were Lucy, Studio One was in it, and deservedly certainly, and Sergeant Bilko, which was such a hit, and just all kinds of different shows. So it wasn't just people who liked dramatic shows, but people who were voting in all areas. And that meant a lot, I thought. I was very pleased. I read somewhere recently, actually, that Frankenheimer considers it the high point of his. And he's had it before a recent hiatus. He had a very hot movie career going. He did some very good films, and quite a few. And now, of course, he's doing wonderful television again. He's having never gotten an Emmy of his own before. He's had 3 in a row in 3 years. Now, he called me up and said, "Is that how you got yours 3 in a row?" I said, "Yes, I got an extra one for preparing the last year." But yes, of course, you feel very justified for the work, and that someone recognized the qualities of it.
When you and your colleagues were involved in Playhouse 90, did you realize that you were making history in television?
No. Oh no, you're just glad you had a good job. And I think we enjoyed the work very much. There was a great deal of respect going on all around that place because there was a general feeling that people thought we all knew what we were doing. We didn't always, but there was a kind of feeling of that. Also, in general, we had very nice people. They all were, the crew particularly, were all fond of each other. They liked getting along with the directors. They really enjoyed the opportunity to do the kind of work we were giving them to do, as opposed to the stuff they had done earlier, which was very undemanding. For a technical crew to do game shows is really not very exciting.
Or even a newscast.
Yes, and so that they really, I think, had a very stimulating time, and were certainly constantly complimented for it, no question of that. So it was a good time, and I think the writers felt truly well treated and respected and happy to do it. They always seemed to want to do more if there was something else for them to do. And the directors were very happy. Most of our directors worked multiple shows, not just one show. And it was altogether, I think, a good experience. And you brought up a thing before when saying about some of the flops, because it showed that it was done by humans. I mean, we weren't some kind of people from another
You
world
weren't machines.
that were doing these great shows. I mean, we had our shares of all kinds of things, but the thing that I think impressed people the most, and the audiences felt, were that by and large they got a good shot when they saw